Tell me if this sounds familiar. You run a business, or you lead one, or you've built one. You make decisions based on data. You have numbers for revenue, pipeline, margins, headcount. You know which metrics move the business and which ones are noise. You would never make a major strategic decision based purely on how things feel. Now, tell me how you manage your physical and cognitive capacity. How you decide whether your training is working. How you know which system is declining and which one is holding. How you determine where to direct your effort and what to stop wasting it on. For most people, including most serious, accomplished people, the honest answer is feel. How I feel when I train. How I feel when I wake up. Whether I feel like I'm in shape. That asymmetry, data-driven in business, intuition-driven in performance, is one of the most expensive blind spots a high performer can have. Now, some people listening to this will push back. I track my steps. I wear a device that monitors my heart rate. I got my VO2 max tested last year. Good. That's a start. It's also not enough. Here's the problem with single metrics. They tell you something. They don't tell you everything. And when you optimize for one number without understanding how it connects to the others, you can improve that number while your total capacity is actually declining. I've seen it dozens of times. Someone improves their VO2 max significantly. They're proud of it, and they should be. But their force production has been quietly declining because their training program tilted entirely toward aerobic work. Their reaction speed is lower than it was 2 years ago. Their behavioral compliance, sleep, recovery, nutrition has eroded because the aerobic work is taking more out of them. One number went up. Total capacity went sideways or down. Single metrics optimize for themselves. They don't optimize for you. So what does the full picture look like? Total functional capacity in a high-performing adult 40 and over is determined by 5 systems, not 1, 5, and they interact. The first is structural capacity, your ability to produce and express force. Not just whether you're strong, but how fast you can generate strength and how well your body absorbs and transfers load. This is the foundation everything else sits on. The second is aerobic capacity, not endurance, efficiency. How much useful output you can produce per heartbeat, and how quickly does your system recover after you push it hard. The third is metabolic capacity, how well your body manages fuel, insulin sensitivity, inflammatory load, hormonal regulation. This is one of the most entirely invisible without physician-grade testing, which is exactly why most performance programs ignore it. The fourth is neural capacity, reaction speed, decision efficiency under fatigue, neuromuscular coordination. This is the system that declines fastest after 40 and the one almost no one is tracking. And the fifth is behavioral capacity, your consistency, sleep, nutrition, recovery behavior, adherence. This one acts as a ceiling on every other system. You can have a perfect training program and a physician-grade diagnostic picture. If your behavioral capacity is low, none of the others reach their potential. 5 systems, all measurable, all trainable, all interconnected. When you have a score across all 5, a single composite number that weights each system by its contribution to total functional capacity, something changes. Not just in what you know, in how you make decisions. You stop chasing the metric that feels most urgent and start directing effort where it actually moves the composite. You stop second-guessing whether what you're doing is working because you have a number that tells you. And you stop the most expensive behavior in adult performance, optimizing one system at the expense of the others. The person who destroys their joints chasing strength numbers, the person whose aerobic obsession has hollowed out their force production, the person who is doing everything right in the gym and wondering why their cognitive performance at work hasn't improved or has gotten worse. A composite score makes those trade-offs visible before they become problems. Here's what the first day looks like when someone comes in to the Prime Performance Lab. We test force production under load. We measure aerobic efficiency on a calibrated bike, watts produced per heartbeat at a standardized effort level. We run a neural assessment, reaction speed at rest, and then again under physical fatigue, so we can see how much their neural performance degrades when their body is stressed. You then go to our physician partner for a full metabolic panel, blood work, DEXA scan, VO2 max, and we do a behavioral audit, sleep consistency, nutrition compliance, and training adherence. At the end of that process, you have a number, a prime capacity index score, composite, weighted, precise. And for the first time, you can see exactly where you stand, not how you feel, not what you assume, but what the data says. Most people, when they see that number for the first time, have the same reaction. They're surprised by one or two pillars, usually the ones they weren't tracking, and they immediately know exactly where the work needs to go. That clarity, that's what measurement actually gives you. Not a report card, a map. Next episode, we're going to go deeper on why single metrics, including the ones the longevity industry loves, aren't giving you the full picture. Specifically, why your VO2 max doesn't tell you the whole story. If you've been tracking that number or thinking about getting it tested, you'll want to hear this one. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And remember, we're building maximum capacity right now at this age.